Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Dr. FJ here. Hello, Rhinos. Thanks for joining. So, just a couple quick things to cover and be on our way. So, anyways, I had a doc at the December training, like asking you knew where, like where to set goals, what's a good rule of thumb. With the office, with collections, I would, growing by about 100 grand a year is a good. That's a good rule of thumb. Your overhead's going to go up. I promise you that. If your rent will go up, or if you own your building, your taxes are going to go up. Mine have. So you're going to want to make a little more each year, and 100 grand a year. It's a good goal. Break that down into each. Ends up being a little over 2 grand a little under, excuse me, 2 grand a week, and yeah, and then and go from there. The other thing, I had a person who has struggling to really set and achieve goals. And like I talked about at the training in December, are you setting goals or are you setting wishes? There's a big difference there. And so I think starting with fitness goals is actually the best way to start with goal setting because no one expects to write down, say you can run a 5K race in 30 minutes right now if you go hard. So if you set the goal of in 3 months to run it in 25 minutes, no one expects to sit on their couch and visualize that and have it happen, right? Because that's sometimes where we get caught in like collections goals and financial goals. Like you're gonna sit, you're gonna visualize it. And that's my biggest problem with the secret and the law of attraction is like you're just gonna see it in your mind and it's gonna show up. And that's never worked for me personally. Um, So, the purpose of a goal is to help you prioritize your actions today. Because there's a million things you can do better, but you want to work back into what specifically do I need to do today to help that goal become a reality. So, fitness goals are a great way to start. So, you say, in 3 months, I want to run a 5K in 25 minutes. Currently, you can do it in 30 minutes. And then you're going to sit down, you're going to write out, okay, I need to, my legs to get stronger. So I'm going to do and you could get into AI would help you, like Chat GPT or Grok, and create a fitness plan, or you could ask someone, or you could just Google, whatever. So you create a plan. All right, I'm going to do LSD, some long, slow distance. I'm going to do some sprints. I'm going to do some hill work. I'm going to do some leg strengthening. I'm going to eat really clean, no sugar, no sodas. I'm going to, watch my alcohol. And then you have, rest days when you need them specifically. And little by little, you're going to build on that, right? And then in 3 months, you're going to schedule a race. So there's a deadline. So you're going to test yourself. And that's the beauty of that. And so I think that's a great way to start learning the skill of goal setting and what the execution needs to be. And I say this more and more, you're better off focusing on day-to-day actions and just constantly looking to improve and get better and yeah, and get this done and get that done and get this done and get that done. You'll do much better that way than setting no goals than if you set a whole lot of goals and do nothing. And that is going to be very, very frustrating. But I'm obviously a huge fan of goal setting. It's always been very helpful for me on helping prioritize my actions and my time and my energy and be intentional. And then you got to execute. You got to actually do it. So, so yeah, that's where I would start if you haven't, like, you want to be a millionaire. Okay, great. Well, it's not going to show up in your bank account. Let's start by saving $100 a week. And then where's that 100 going to go? All right. You don't want to just leave in a saving account getting no interest rate, right? You're going to send it to a financial planner or put it in an index fund or get a whole life insurance policy and you're going to start there, right? And then build and you realize, okay, I don't need this subscription. I'm going to quit eating out and I'm going to cook at home. And then that way I can get that 100 a week to 200 a week or whatever and get to 1,000 a month. And then little by little, I'm going to build on that. And it just helps fuel your discipline. And then, I want to have 10 grand saved in 3 months or five, a grand saved in 3 months, whatever it is, you start wherever you're at and you just build on it. Um, and so that is, I think, the best way. But fitness, I think, is a great goal. And as you get older, I think you'll see you have more and more fitness goals, or you should, because it's going to be really, really important, especially in a job where you're using your body, that your body's well taken care of, and that you have health and energy. Um, it's so easy to neglect, even as chiropractors, when we're talking about with our patients every day, it's so easy to neglect your own body, and not do the exercise, not eat the way you want to eat, and all that stuff. So, and the last thing, I do think this is a great time of year to just take a day or a morning or a night or whenever you have some time and just reflect, see where you're at, remember where you were 10 years ago. And I think you can build a lot of gratitude that way, in being thankful for where you're at, no matter what it is. But I told the story, at the training of, I remember the first time we collected 10 grand in a week, and I just was like, now obviously our overhead, we were living in a two-bedroom apartment. We had one staff member, and that was it. It was me and Corey. So our overhead is a lot lower. But I just remember, like, wow, if we can do this forever, this is gonna be so fun. And now, we want to do that at the office every Monday. That's what we like to do. Um, so, but and the Mondays you don't hit it, it's like, instead of beating yourself up, or if it's a tough time of year, reflecting back is a good place to start, and being like, wow, 15 years ago, like me learning upper cervical, getting up at 5 a.m. and reading a textbook, and then having patients come in at 7 o'clock at night and working on them for years. And now it's like, usually I start at 9, I'm done at 6, maybe 6:30. I have people that can take upper cervical x-rays. I have people that can do reports. I have a great associate, a good team. Um, and our office is doing great. Now that gives me, means my overhead's way higher than it used to be, but it also gives me a lot of freedom, and free time. And so we can grow, and us growing doesn't mean me working 100 hours a week, which isn't sustainable either. And it allows me to do some other things, help out with the training, and coach some few docs, and do these, and then, have some other interests and do some stuff there. And so it's, and I just think it's a really important time of year to reflect, be thankful, set some goals for the new year, but be smart about it. I want you to set goals with specific, intentional actions to make those goals a reality. Business, personal, health, financial, all of them. And then start very, very small. If you're not exercising consistently, just start with a goal of, 3 days a week, I'm going to go to the gym. That's it for the next month. Just go. And you can hop on the rowing machine for 5 minutes, maybe hop in the sauna for 5 minutes, and you leave. But you went. And you just do that. And think about a time, lunchtime, before work, whatever, and you go. You just go no matter what. And you do that for a month. And then you increase it, all right? And then instead of just hitting the rowing machine, we're also going to do a couple push-ups or some chest press. All right, and then we're going to add in a few burpees. Then we're gonna, add in taking a cold shower. And we're gonna do some intermittent fasting. And you just slowly build. And then doing that consistently after 6 months, a year, it's like, oh wow, I'm way fitter. I got way more energy. I'm healthier. I feel great. I'm getting up at 6 a.m. No problem, ready to like go. But you build into that. The same thing at the practice. Right? You have this goal of doing 150K a month or whatever it is, 100K, 80K, 60, 200, whatever. All right, what are we going to do, as far as new patients? How are we going to get them? Well, we're going to, hand out a 4 card Monday, every month. We're going to do content, a video every week or every day, or 2 or 3 videos a day. What niche are we going to look to hit? Um, and you just build, and we're going to raise our, fees $5 a visit, and we're going to add a non-covered service, and we're going to make sure our care plan matrix is where we need it to be. And little by little you build, and the next thing you know, just like all of a sudden you're fit over 6 months, a year of consistently taking those actions, you're now like, holy cow, we just collected 130 a month and it didn't feel that crazy, or 180 a month or 90 a month, whatever it is, right? So anyways, Those are some questions I've been asked recently, and I think those are great ways to really make goal setting a skill, being smart with your goal setting, and hope that helps. Let me know if it does. Have a great happy Hanukkah for all our Jewish rhinos out there. I know that just started. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and have a great New Year with your family. Enjoy this time, guys. Take it, even if it's not the busiest time of year. You're up north and it's 20 below zero or it's a blizzard. Don't freak out that you're gonna have some slow days. Just enjoy it. Spend some time with your family. Rest, recover. Spend some time setting goals. If you have any regrets, Dr. Fred, he has to write it down and burn it. It's a great little ritual. Move on, and then be thankful for whatever you have. Set some goals, some actions for the new year, and I will see you in the new year. And everyone, keep charging. Thank you.